Welcome to the Javier Mendez podcast that we weren't expecting to do this week. A lot of stuff's been impacting the world. It's been impacting sports. It's been impacting people's lives, travel, the economy. And we just want to give our piece on it. We're observing it. We like to hear your feedback. Some of you told us what was going on in Dubai and some of the other areas out there. And, we hear that Dubai, people are at home doing their school from home. Some parts of California, the kids are, not to come to school. They don't want people in large groups, more than 20 or something, with 6 foot of distance of breathable space. Some of the things that I'm seeing from the news. And, Italy getting hurt the worst. But my final thing that I'll point out is that they are tracking a lot of the coronavirus that hit California from a cruise ship that came from Washington, because everybody that was on it went home and got their roommates infected. And then it just went on from there. But to top it all off, and I want to hear Hav's opinion on this, and Tony is going to break down Las Vegas to us today, too, to let us know what's happening there since the last UFC fight, what's happened in Vegas with the coronavirus. So Bellator canceled their show, Hav. You had a fighter or two on there?
Yeah, I had Romero Cotton on there. I just saw that on Twitter, I believe Scott Coker went and stressed his apologies for having to cancel the show, but the safety of people is more important than the show must go on, and they did what they had to do, and they shut it down.
I'm sure the fighters, they probably took care of them a little bit, but that's not the point. Stay alive.
I was told that they paid him full pay.
That's pretty awesome of Scott Coker.
That's what I was. I was told that, and I could be wrong, but at the very least, I would imagine they gave him half pay. But I think I'm pretty sure I read somewhere, not from Coker, but I read somewhere that said that they gave the fighters full pay.
And the UFC in Brazil is still going to go on with a zero audience. How are they going to run that this weekend with Kevin Lee, who I heard didn't make weight?
Oh, Kevin Lee didn't make weight? Well, yeah, they're going to still run it with no audience. And the one in London, as of now, they're still running that one. But I'm assuming they're going to say no audience there, too. I'm assuming based on all the cancellation of football over there, which is soccer, been canceled over there. So if soccer's been canceled, there's no way you're going to have UFC fans coming to an event when you cancel soccer over there for the fans, So they're going to follow suit. I'm pretty sure you're going to find that the UFC, if it goes through, it's going to be only just fighters and crew.
Tony, what's the word in Vegas? You're seeing things change around us. Hav was there the other weekend, and then bam, things get more serious. Give us the word on the street of Vegas and the coronavirus.
Devastation. Buffets have closed, nightclubs, pools, people's hours being cut, total panic in the supermarkets. I know a lot of people in the medical industry, and they're like, oh, it's not a big deal, just wash your hands. But I'm seeing the supermarkets filled with people from the medical industry, with shopping carts filled with hundreds of cans, cases of water, and everything else. So, my conspiracy meter is going off. Buffets have shut down because it's too much people contact and touching spoons. This town is getting hit. I'm not kidding you. There's the traffic is cut down. It's like the 80s. There's no traffic in a lot of it's getting hit. I'm telling you.
Wow, sounds like a 10-minute commute to Henderson from the Strip now. That used to be quite a long
track. I'm telling you, it's weird, man. I'm telling you, it's like The Walking Dead season 10 or something around here.
So how do you think it's going to pull through on the pay-per-views? You think more people at home, better pay-per-views, no gate, maybe it'll compensate? There's nothing else to do. You can't go anywhere. You kind of have a captive audience for anything.
Well, logic says that if gyms are closing or a lot of people aren't going to the gym as much, they're staying home. What are they going to do staying home? If TVs are available, they're going to turn on the TV. What are they going to do if sporting events are available? They're going to watch them. So logic says that TV is going to be at an all-time high. And I'm not sure about pay-per-view, only because people are used to the fans being there in pay-per-view events. I've never seen a pay-per-view event do great with no live audience, but who knows? Maybe they'll do great too, because more people will be home. And what are people going to do if they're home? Oh, the UFC's on. Oh, okay, I'm put the money down for that. I'm not going to the bar tonight, or I'm not going out, et cetera, to a restaurant where people are at. So I think personally, my gut feeling is pay-per-view is going to be up high, viewership is going to be up really high, and because that's what else are people going to do? The adults like ourselves, we're not into the games like our kids are, where they go out there and all the YouTube and all the games that they play. We're going to be watching TV.
Yeah, I just reached out to Enrico Cortese, who just flew back to Italy. He has not responded to me yet. I'm waiting to find out if he got home. Supposedly, there's 100 turnstiles or check-throughs of police asking where your papers are, where you came from, who do you know, and I'm hoping to hear back from him and get the real feedback, word on the street from Italy. I mean, It's going off there bad. Have you heard anywhere else, how?
Well, I heard, by the way, I'm rubbing my shoulders, CBDMD, see that right there? The guys that take care of me really well. So, look, you guys, I have to rub, because got to hold for Habib a little later. Infomercial time, you guys, sorry. Time break, trying to, see, I'm rubbing it real well in here. It works really, really well. Keeps me healthy. But anyways, there you go, CBDMD, that's the way to go. Oh, see, can shake it. There you go. Yeah, no, my one fighter, Arjan Bueller, he's going home because in Canada, I guess what they don't have presidents over there. They have president, right? Minister or whatever.
Yeah, Prime Minister.
Prime Minister's wife got it. She got it. So he's afraid they're going to cut the airlines over there. And also Fernando Gonzalez, one of my guy from Mexico, he's going back home for fear of him not be able to come back, and then things happen over there. So he's going back home. Man, this is becoming kind of crazy. It's going to get crazier before it settles down, I believe. I believe it will settle down, but it's going to get crazy for a while.
What's your conspiracy meter telling you, Tony?
Well, in every tragic event, someone gets rich and a lot of people get poor. So someone's going to definitely profit off of this. And if UFC keeps holding shows, because the NBA is canceled, Major League Baseball is canceled, all the other sporting events are pretty much canceled. So actually it could really help MMA and maybe get a bigger audience, and people will spend more time and give it a chance that normally don't watch MMA. So it could be very, very beneficial to mixed martial arts.
I had the same thought. You get head of the line privileges. No one else is competing for the airtime. If you only had one channel and the only thing on the channel is that, something competitive to watch. I mean, imagine if they just let horse racing is the only thing. Everybody would get into horse racing because they get nothing else to watch, right?
The only problem that could happen that kills that is if all the states stop all airlines passing. So in other words, California, only California flights. Nevada, only Nevada flights. I heard that could happen. So if that happens, forget about it. Nobody's going to do anything. Like, you won't be able to.
I have a solution for you, Hav. It's really out of the box. It's called pay-per-view sparring from AKA, and we just live stream it to our YouTube channel. And then you have your own network. But hopefully not all the fighters go home. Hopefully they stay there.
Yeah, we may not get much interest in that.
What do you think, Tony?
Good idea, but I don't think it'll fly.
It's a bottle of water in the desert, man. It may not be your favorite water, but damn, you're thirsty. I think that's the situation. What do you think, Tony?
Well, statistically, when there is no sporting events on, crime goes through the roof. And if you look through the history of criminology, that's why they made it where sporting events didn't have the time off. So there was always sporting events. People need things to watch. People need things to do. I mean, the movie industry's dead. There's just not that much on TV. People need to see something exciting. And like I said, it could be really good for MMA.
Could be good for the Javier Mendez, aka streaming live from San Jose.
Then I got problems. I got all the fighters saying, "Hey, I need to talk to my manager or my agent. You can't just show me on this. And I want a percentage." No, thanks. We'll keep it closed.
Yeah.
No need the headache. Don't need the headache.
Hey, we'll pay them in toilet paper. We'll give them toilet paper. The grand champion gets 18 rolls of toilet paper. I mean, there's nothing in the stores. I'm sure at this point other people would fight for toilet paper. Who knows?
Yeah, that's the part I don't get. I'm trying to understand why someone would buy a ton of toilet paper when if you do get sick, it's going to be, what, a 14-day period or something like that? You know, where it can come in and out, right? And by then, I don't get the toilet. And then you got water. You got tap water. What, tap water contagious or something? Are they afraid of that? I don't know. I don't know. I'm just asking you guys if you know.
Okay,
that one gets me.
They said it incubates for 4 days, and then usually after the 4th day, you get the worst sore throat from hell. And then from there, you get severe diarrhea. So I'm thinking just maybe these people are planning to, let out the nuggets or something, so they need extra paper. That's the only thing I could think of, because severe diarrhea is one of the symptoms of the coronavirus.
Right. And then yeah, the temperature too, right? High fever?
Yes,
high fever
but
too,
tap
right?
water has, people just don't like the taste of tap water. So, maybe that's the factor of buying so much bottled water.
It could be. This is times for people to buy the filtration type water that people make out there, that you spend about, what, $4 or $5 grand for these systems out there that give you almost a lifetime of water. This is times for people to probably go into that avenue there and look for the people that are selling that water, the alkaline, I guess, the alkaline water, right? It's probably a good time.
They have a Kagan machine that makes alkaline, water, but years ago they said cancer can't live in alkaline water, so that's was the big selling point of alkaline water. But alkaline water actually is very unhealthy for you.
Right, but isn't it another thing too? When you drink it, it doesn't necessarily go all the way through to combat the water. It does something about the water when you're drinking it. It doesn't actually benefit as much as you think.
No, it doesn't, because when you drink the water, your body has to pH to make it functional. So here's what I tell people: alkaline water will kill your pets, and it will mess your children up. So there's your 2 warning disclaimers right there. If you give it to a dog, it'll kill it, and if you give it to your kid, it will mess them up. So why would I drink it? Bleach and ammonia's pH at like 10 or 11. So why would I drink water that's pH at 10? All it's going to do is produce massive amounts of kidney stones.
Yeah, I stopped. I was chugging that stuff not too long ago after your advice, Tony, and I feel a bit better. I was chugging the alkaline because it was like drinking silk. I was like, oh, this is good. I feel satiated, but there was something to it, man. I don't know.
That's what the laundromat does to remove stains out of dirty clothes. They pH the water and the stains lift out. So what do you think it's doing to the inside of your body?
So you're talking about gut flora and the rest.
Well, your stomach acidity is supposed to be at 1 to 1.5. If your stomach acidity is alkaline, you can't digest food. And then you become cancerous. You go the other way on the scale.
Well, I remember when Randy Couture said he got really muscular from the alkaline diet.
Okay.
Len,
why don't you amuse all of us and show us some of the work you used to do before filming?
Oh.
Show us. Come on.
Come on. You want to see my backdrop?
Yeah, I want to see what it was before, so everybody can see what you used to do before. Now you're illustrious. Now move over. That was you.
There we go.
Right behind there you are. All professional and everything. Huh?
I was professional back in the day. I had to film something.
How come you didn't have an army of that? Then you can film an army and stuff. Create an army.
I tried to film an army. Let me get back on my jet. Okay, so.
Are you back in your jet? You're gonna get grounded though. They won't let you pass California. You'll be stuck.
Hey, of all places to be stuck, California is fine by me. I wouldn't want to be stuck somewhere else that really, I don't know. It just seems there's more options here. There's more, whatever. Where's there to escape to, anyways?
Vegas. I want to go to Vegas. That's where I'll be. I'll be in Vegas.
Tony's like, Hob, they shut it down, man. Your nightlife, your thing you like
Nah,
to do.
they ain't shutting down gambling. You're crazy. That ain't gonna happen.
No, but sports betting though is taking the worst body shot ever.
Yeah, sports betting for damn sure.
They have gotten assassinated. They might as well have been John F. Kennedy driving through Texas in a convertible. That's how bad they got hit.
But if you think about it, if they ban gambling because of the cards, people are grabbing the cards, et cetera, you know. I don't know. Could happen.
Nah.
I wonder, you know, if you guys
Yeah, I
want to
don't think so
gamble,
either.
you want to gamble, bet on toilet paper, man. Play the toilet paper market and the stock market. That's all I'm saying.
That's a good one to hit right now. I think that's number one, the toilet paper. I don't get that one. I don't get that one. Why is all the toilet paper gone? I'm just like, what the hell? Well, you know, and people are buying it for fear of if you don't buy it, then someone else is going to take it. Then all of a sudden you need it. It's all sold. So that's what's happening. I bet just like everybody's going, hey, you know, if I don't buy it, someone else is going to get it, and then I'm going to have nothing. Did I blank out on you guys or what?
No, you're here.
Oh,
No, I was just thinking back what Tony Ferguson said about, you know, all the street fighting, that instead of trying to have UFC in Brooklyn, why don't they just put an octagon on rollers, roll it in the middle of the street of California, and call it the Street Fight Edition, have Habib beat up Tony in the octagon, but just have it right out in the middle of the street.
That'd be fun. Have everybody up in buildings, like you get to pay to be in the building to look down.
They don't have to leave the state. It'll be outside, so the virus just is not as contagious as it is outside in the summer sun. And there it is.
yeah.
Flying to New York is a headache.
You know, I was just looking at everything, you know, and this thing, the virus, right? If it hits every single person, and the fatality rate at the present time, if you look, of the people that have had it and cured themselves, not cured themselves, have cleared it, and the people that didn't, there was like 68,000 people that had it are good now, and of the 68,000, like 5,000 something died. So it was like 7% of the people that have had the coronavirus have died. So if you look at on the world scale, and this is why everything's going on, I believe there's like 7 billion people in the earth, right?
So.
And so if everybody had it, roughly, if you're looking at just that 7%, bro, you're looking at almost 700 million people getting it, dying. You know, if you're looking at from that statistics, you know, that's crazy numbers, man. And I think that's why it's freaking everybody out, because of the way it spreads. You know, I'm not saying it'll do that, but shit, if they don't do anything about it, how much damage will it do?
That's the thing. Stop it before it starts. DUIs kill about 10,000 people a year. So, well, there'll be less of that. It'll be the compensating factor. Hell, they'll cut down on everything.
A lot of experts think it escalated from the live markets in China because bats carry so many diseases. And in China, in the live markets, they eat live, they have bats there for food consumption. And the bats carry all types of viruses. And they're hanging up there, you know, in a live market, and people eat them. And they think that's where it escalated from, because the coronavirus has been around forever. If you go back 15, 20 years, it's on the Lysol can. Like it's been around, but something definitely escalated it.
Tony, you've been into Kung Fu your whole life. It's a good thing. Like, you're like, what did Bruce Lee do? Did he eat bats? You didn't go there, so I'm happy. I'm happy you never went that far. Yeah, I see you laughing in the background. I was just thinking, you know, everybody chased the water. They chased the toilet paper, right? What if we said, hey, cat food, it's the preventative. Just get cat food. People would have bought all the damn cat food in the store, man. They would have said it and ate it.
You remember the pet rock?
Yeah.
Okay, everybody went and bought the pet rock. They made millions and millions of dollars off of pet rock. They dressed it up. They put it in nice boxes. They gave it nice words. They gave them nice names, and they sold like crazy. And all they were was just rocks, and they just pet rock. So cat food ain't such a bad idea. if you can sell it, people will buy it.
There's nothing else to buy at home. Maybe the AKA Fight Coronavirus T-shirt. That's the next suggestion.
No. Don't you dare go there. We don't want nothing to do with that. No. That's a bad reminder. No. 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 Nothing to do with anything bad. No, all good.
What's going on with boxing, Tony? Any same shutdown, or it's just
boxing gyms are empty. Top Rank just canceled 2 shows, and they're taking a major hit. I mean, their sport's hurting anyway. MMA is killing them. The new generation, they don't want to be boxers. They want to be MMA fighters. If you go to a boxing weigh-in, there might be 400 people. You go to an MMA weigh-in, there can be 12,000, 15,000 people. Boxing is hanging by a thread.
It was only a matter of time, man. I mean, did you ever see this coming, Hav, where UFC was going to surpass boxing and other sports? And ESPN.
I did see it surpassing boxing, but boxing will always be around. I mean, as a matter of fact, I think boxing has been making a big turnaround recently with all the great fights they're having. Joshua, versus Ruiz, and then you had Fury versus what do you call it? The repeat.
Deontay Wilder.
The Wilder. That was a great fight. And there's a whole bunch of other boxing. I think boxing is making a comeback. I think boxing's going to be around forever. But MMA is, I believe, surpassing it. And one of the big reasons why I believe is because martial arts. There's martial arts gyms everywhere, and everybody's learning MMA. So a lot of people are getting very educated in understanding what MMA is all about, and so they're watching the TV. But not many people go to boxing gyms. How many people go to boxing gyms? And in my gym here alone, we have about 500 students, total with everything, right? Kids and, parents and teachers and whatnot. And then we have probably 40 or so fighters here. So when you add all that, right? And then you go all San Jose, my gym alone has more than any boxing, anything in San Jose. So I believe that Randy Couture by himself in Vegas has more students and more anything than all the boxing gyms over there too. So that being the case, I think that's why MMA is surpassing it, because more people are involved. They get involved in wrestling as a young kid, but we don't have little boxing programs where a bunch of kids come in, like soccer programs and whatnot. That's what I feel anyways. And I think that's why it's surpassing it.
I think boxing was the immigrant sport in a lot of places. I mean, guys fresh here with no money, hungry, coming off the boat, and in New York, some Italians, some Irish, even Jewish people in the early 1900s. I mean, that's where boxing was. And then you had all the great Mexican boxers everywhere where there was tough times, there was tough people. It seems to be where it came from. But for teaching that in the gym, everybody afraid of CTE and stuff, they probably just steer clear of that. Wrestling and point fighting and all that seems a lot more fighting. A lot more safe. How is that is there a lot of kids going to boxing gyms, Tony?
Nope. They don't want to take all those blows to the head. And the Olympics killed boxing, because when the Olympics became corrupted politically, and like when they robbed Roy Jones from his gold medal and they robbed Floyd Mayweather. I mean, the Olympics have done shady stuff. So the young fighters coming up, they didn't want to be Olympians anymore because it wasn't fair. It was just straight robbery. So that was the beginning of boxing starting to fizzle. And then another thing too, with MMA, you have a whole toolbox of weapons. Anybody can win. That's what makes it exciting. A jiu-jitsu guy can beat a wrestler can beat jiu-jitsu, a striker can beat so-and-so. Anybody can win, and anybody can get knocked out in a 4-ounce glove. So that has a higher level of excitement, where in, boxing is pretty cut and dry. And like I said, a boxer takes way too many blows to the head. I know a lot of boxers right now, and it's like it's a CD player skipping in their head. They can think it, but their thoughts are getting slower and skipping and stuttering. Like, the effects of that sport is devastating.
I'm going to use this as a lead-in for a video I did of Javier the other day, speaking at the end of class. You guys can watch it after the podcast comes out. But he was talking about the importance for an MMA fighter. He's like, you better damn well be a grappler. Don't fall in love with your stand-up. You have to be a grappler because you have to be able to push off someone trying to take you down, and you have to be able to counter the counter, or you're going to get wet blanketed and you're not going to be able to get up. So you really got to get your hips. And, you know, this is coming from a kickboxer originally, world champion kickboxer, but he knows the value of it. I mean, he doesn't go, oh, my style's the best. He just used to see it for what it is, huh, Javier?
Yeah, I mean, you know, strikers are, honestly speaking, the easiest guys to beat if you're a grappler. They're the easiest. Royce Gracie proved that, you know. It didn't take no dummy. It took me one time to put on the gloves way back then with Frank Shamrock when I knew nothing about the ground. And I went out with him to realize how much different it was, because I put on the gloves before with him with stand-up only, and I was playing with the baby. It was like so easy. Then we put on, we went MMA. Then all of a sudden, before you know it, I wasn't comfortable standing in front of him. I had to be on my bike, moving. And all he did was simple ankle trip. And then I was on my ass. Done, finished, over. That easy. So how can it be that, you know, here I am, the big guy, more experienced, I can play with him, but yet when it came to wrestling, it's just simple logics, you know. When he was able to do his game, I couldn't do my game. And that's why I say, you know, if you want to be a successful MMA fighter, you better have a great or very good ground game. Otherwise, you're not going to have great success. Israel Adesanya has a pretty decent ground game. You know, he's got a pretty good, decent ground game, and that's why he's able to do as well as he does. If he didn't have that kind of a ground game, he wouldn't be a champion. And he has a champion because he does have a decent ground game and takedown defense.
I got one last question. We'll close out. And anybody with coronavirus going on your town in a bad way, leave us any information. Give us some feedback what it's like in the world. We don't want to just trust the news. We like to hear from our fans and all the new subscribers. Thank you. Making weight for a fight. When you miss weight for a fight, I want to hear from both you guys. Is it an indicator something went wrong? Of course, you didn't diet right, maybe water, maybe the airplane. But how bad does it affect you, or does it affect your fight the next day? Is there a negative repercussion to almost making it and not, or it's like, just didn't make weight, oh well?
Well, it's a good indicator sometimes of an injury that prevented you from doing everything you could do. It's a good indicator of potential laziness or improper diet. There's a lot of indications that show you didn't do it train properly. But in some cases, because some people lose an enormous amount of weight and they didn't kill themselves as much, it's an advantage. So it can go either way. It can go either way. It depends on the individual. It depends on what happened to them. But I see a weight cut as a favorable or unfavorable. It depends on the individual and what he had to do, and if he had an injury or no injury.
Well, you know Kevin Lee. Does he walk around heavy, Tony?
You know what? Sometimes he went up to TriStar, I believe. And sometimes when you have maybe too many coaches, or sometimes you hire a different conditioning coach, you put on more muscle. So then when you go to cut weight, you know, you just have more muscle. So sometimes every fighter has a tipping point. So sometimes when you may just do a couple extra sets of something, it could put that little extra muscle on you, and it just tips you over that point. So you don't think that much of it. But then when you get to the event, it's like, well, shit, I always get here and I always do this. Why won't this come off?
Well, we get to see if he stays in the rounds for lining up with Islam again one day. Islam's still got a fight coming up. As far as Ali's saying on all the indicators that the fight's still on, they'll find a way to do it.
Yeah, the whole idea is the UFC is not canceled any fight that I know of. They've redirected a lot of the fights to the Apex in Las Vegas. So hopefully there's no ban on state traveling, you know, from state to state. But don't be surprised if that happens. So if that happens, I don't know what's next, because that's going to be very difficult to get all California fighters, all Nevada fight. It's going to be very difficult if that does happen.
Oh, that's true. How could you get everybody from everywhere? They're not all local fighters, so I totally.
Well, here's one thing. Here's one thing about the virus. They said hot weather. It doesn't live in hot weather as effective. And Vegas weather is extremely hot and dry. And more people get sick in the winter than they do in the summer because hot air rises. And when hot air rises, there's less pollution. So if it's really, really warm out here, people are usually more healthy because you get a vitamin D overload, which builds the immune system.
Yeah, and it's 50 degrees or so. It's when it starts killing it. So Vegas is definitely the destination spot in the U.S., for killing it.
So same here in California. It was hot out today. It's going to get hotter. It's on the warm up. So hopefully that helps out the state of California. But a friggin' cruise ship is the culprit, full of people from Washington that caused most of the Santa Clara County. We're just like, it came from nowhere. They didn't go overseas. Oh, well, yeah, those people probably get it from the people that were on a cruise ship and they were roommates with them. That's what happened.
Cruise ship is what did it, huh? Wow.
Yeah.
And cruise ships recirculate air. They don't really open the windows that much. So it's a constant stale air that's being recirculated.
I get a question. I'll ask you for some safety tips, Tony, because you're a man on the street survivalist, and anything like, how have you gone shopping? Have you got your stuff? You get your 1,000 pounds of toilet paper and cat food yet, or?
No, I went shopping though, and at first I was like, I looked at all the amount of foods everybody had, and I'm going, what the hell? I must have picked a bad day, and then before I realized, I went, oh crap. And I still, personally speaking, I don't understand that part of hoarding all that food. I don't understand that part. I don't understand that part. It's not like everybody's got to be locked up and the whole bit, I don't get that part, because how can we survive? How can we survive? And I just don't. What, 2, 4, 5 months hibernation, nobody leaves their house? I don't know.
How about you, Tony?
I noticed that there's so much fresh produce, and that's where all your nutrients are anyway. It's not in the cans. So, there was no shortage of produce. So, hey, I'm good. So, people are going to do whatever they're going to do, So, I've been in certain foreign countries, and I've seen where people go days. I couldn't find one person to wash their hands, or even in a Las Vegas bathroom, which Las Vegas has like the best bathrooms on the planet. And there's so many people that go in there and they will not wash their hands. So, there it is.
Well, it'll be entertaining. Anybody that's got any coronavirus stories, what's going on your side of the world, the Javier Mendez podcast goes on, because no matter, even if we're quarantined, it will never stop.
Well, you guys in China, I'm looking at the worldometers.info. It says as of today, total cases for China is 80,817. New cases today, 3 new cases of coronavirus they detected. Italy, 17,660 cases, and 2,547 people have been infected today. And USA is 2,269. 572 were affected today. But China is like, yesterday I watched it was 11 people got infected yesterday. And today it says 3, unless someone's not telling the truth, which that could be.
No,
still, the numbers are very low.
No, you have to go to Johns Hopkins University. They have the updated map for that, and it's updated like every hour.
Johns Hopkins University?
Yes, they're way more accurate.
Okay.
And they have
this one's supposed to be accurate like that, but Johns Hopkins. Okay, I'll look that up.
Yeah.
I was I almost went to buy some sage because Lysol was gone. You ever hear about burning sage in your house to clean it up, clean up the air and the?
No, it doesn't. It's to get rid of evil spirits if you're in the witchcraft, and it won't get rid of all your exes. It ain't doing nothing.
Damn it! I was going to get rid of witches and ghosts, not the coronavirus. Oh well.
All right.
Shame on me. Great podcast, guys.
See ya.
Bye, guys.